Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 report where our top story tonight is a former Liverpool superstar being linked to Everton, because Spanish publication Sport have suggested that Carlo Ancelotti has shown interest in signing former Liverpool player Philippe Coutinho. According to them, Everton are willing to accept the conditions laid out by Barcelona, whatever they may be. The article suggested a fee of around 75 million. And to be honest, I'd be very surprised if we went anywhere near that price for anyone in the coming windows, so it's hard to see this as a goer. The same article does suggest that it could be that we're being used to pressure other teams into bidding higher for him, which I can well understand. With that in mind, it's a real shame that we don't have any press conferences at the moment, because I do sure miss seeing Carlo calling out journalists over their fake transfer rumours, so bring on another Carlo Ancelotti presser sooner rather than later. Now, for another very big name to be linked with us recently, Everton are prepared to offer Lazio striker Ciro Immobile a 130 grand a week wage to convince him to move to Goodison. And that comes from an actual Lazio fan page, Città Celeste. He's done bits this season in Serie A. He scored 27 goals in 26 games, which is astounding. Despite that, it's hard to see this being a goer. Bear in mind our attack is pretty strong compared to other areas, and those potential wages are pretty high too, so there's definitely better moves that we could make. But hey, don't let me get in the way of Ancelotti's Everton being linked with loads of Italians. Next up, Le 10 Sport in France have suggested that Leicester could hijack our pursuit of Gabriel today, suggesting that they could lure him with the Champions League should they qualify. Once again, I don't think this is believable at this stage. Given the state football is in, it's completely up in the air with regards to what happens next with the league and what happens with European competitions. And also, it's hard to see much in the way of negotiations going on while most of Europe remains in lockdown. So it's hard to see where anybody's at with this Gabriel saga, because the amount of different stories and angles on this rumour that I've seen in the past few weeks I've pretty much lost count of. So once again, this is probably just column inches for the sake of it and a whole lot of nothing. And he's not even the only Gabriel on the list tonight. We have another Brazilian Gabriel coming from Yahoo Brazil. They report that Everton have apparently bid for Sao Paulo wonder kid Gabriel Veron. The report comes from an announcement from Mauricio Galotti, who is the club president of Sao Paulo, and he suggested that we bid 12 million for him in January, and he deemed that way too low for his star youngster. And not for the first time on this show we've had a Brazilian football president speaking about rumoured interest on here. The Santos president did the same a few weeks back about one of their players, and cynically you have to admit the purpose of this is to drum up interest and hype around the players to get a big sale. Not knocking the player, mind you, he could be a very good player, but it's a typically cynical move that we have been becoming more accustomed to nowadays, particularly from Brazil. It seems to be a very popular thing for their presidents to come out and talk to the press. So this probably won't be the last time we hear this, considering that we seem to be dipping our toe into the South American market quite regularly these days. On to outgoings now, though, and the Daily Express have reported that Inter Milan are prepared to pay 25 million for Moise Kean as a possible replacement for the Barcelona-bound Lautaro Martinez. This is another one to debunk straight off the bat. Why on earth they think we would sell a promising youngster at a loss is beyond me. Don't forget we paid 35 upwards million for him last year. So perhaps Inter are interested in bringing Kean back to Italy this summer, but if that is true, they've got to do better than that. 25 million is an insult considering he's a very young lad and very talented, and I know he's yet to settle, but he's certainly not worth selling at a loss after just 1 year. It's absolutely ridiculous, and the Daily Express need to give the heads a wobble. Next up on the ludicrous potential outgoings, Schalke manager David Wagner has told Sky he wants to keep Johnjoe Kenny. Fair enough, I don't see why he wouldn't want to keep him. He seems to have played very well over in Germany, but only on a season loan, another season loan. They say they can't afford the defender on a permanent deal. I think this could be a plea for more backing from his bosses at Schalke, but given that he spoke to the English press, it seems more like he's trying to lowball us, really. And we shouldn't be surprised, given he's still so far up Jurgen Klopp's backside, we can barely see him. Once again, no deal, in case you were wondering, as far as I'm concerned. Final transfer rumour sees another potential low ball, but no actual concrete suggestions at this point from Chelsea. But Tuto Mercato suggests that Chelsea have stepped up their supposed interest in Jordan Pickford. His performances this season, I've seen him cut a very divisive figure amongst the fans, let's say. According to that report, we value him at around 43 million, but even in spite of his poor form this year, I think it's still safe to say we could command a lot more for a keeper who is still young at 25 years old and, of course, is still England's number one. So just like with Inter and Schalke before, Chelsea really need to raise the game on that front. And we're going to finish on the note of Everton and Chelsea locking horns. In the absence of real-life football, the Premier League has put on an invitational FIFA tournament where one player from each club represents their respective club. And our very own Andre Gomez has been doing the business for Everton. He's flying the flag for us, and he's thumped Reece James and Chelsea 8-0 yesterday to go into the quarterfinals. So if you're into FIFA and you want to see Everton potentially win something, you never know. Definitely keep an eye on that on social media and on YouTube in the coming days to see how he gets on, and let's get behind Andre, because what else have we got to do, let's be honest. But so far anyway, Andre has proven he's certainly a belter when it comes to playing FIFA. So definitely keep an eye on Andre, and also keep an eye on our channel as well. Get subscribed for more great content. Give this video a like and a comment too while you're at it. Let us know your opinions on all the topics that we've covered. Stay safe as always, stay at home, and until next time, thank you guys for watching on the Toffee Blues.